Всем привет, с вами Лео, и мы смотрим Devstream, а после чего уже начинаем играть в сам Warf. Ну что ж, сегодня у нас будет Devstream рассказываться про, как я полагаю, переработку взрывных, собственно, выстрелов, допустим, таких как из Ленца или Огриса. То есть баллистика будет, как я полагаю, пересмотрена. И, как я немного чекал в комментариях, я полагаю, что там будет этот... как оно называется? Скорее всего, будет... Может быть, покажут... Блин, как оно там называется? Делюкс на гидроида, во. То есть как-то так. И подключим музыку. Вот так вот, чуть-чуть. Не, я думаю, еще чуть-чуть тише сделать можно. Все, вроде нормально. Так, у меня лагает, получается. Или не лагает?
Exactly, the best. The best. So yes, if you're looking for the Lotus Spirit in the Spirits in Black event in Super Smash Ends.
Так, походу начинают рассказывать по поводу... А, это они сейчас говорят по поводу того, что Лотос как персонаж вышла в Super Smash Bros. Или как-то так. Игра называется.
We have 3 giveaways of platinum for the stream and 1 of Prime Access, so that'll happen randomly throughout the stream. If you're watching logged in on
Привет, Леон.
you'll have a chance to win. There is a drop today. We did a poll on Twitter. Life versus death, Oberon versus
И сегодняшний дроп, кстати, будет связан с Некросом. И, например, целого Некроса буду давать. Ну-ка, сейчас посмотрим. Интересно, у меня совмещены аккаунты?
So with our 20 plus bonus parts, let's look at the agenda. The agenda.
Ладно, пофиг вообще на то, есть у меня Некрос или нет. Ага, показали сразу то, что они будут говорить на 139-м Devstream. Ого. Ага, еще, кстати, будет выпущено 90 фиксов для Рейла Джека, ну или около стольки. Будут показывать, как оно называется, как оно по-другому будет называться, интерфейс. Будут рассказывать про фиксы личей. Опять будут показывать новый рендеринг. И еще один новый рендеринг, это связанный с HDR. Плюс что-то бонусное. И что-то будут переделывать по этому урону для зараженных. Интересно. Так.
Every now and then we'll sneak something in for Jeff because he didn't come. All right, we'll do something that Jeff will get mad at.
Все, тут вроде все нормально сделано.
We'll do that at the end, some bonus.
This is gonna be, I think, a drop.
Единственное, что я клацну здесь, вот это вот.
But I think it's for me. I'm reading.
Тык-тык. Все.
I started reading Brian Greene's.
Завтра стрим по SCP. SCP это одиночная игра. Стрим по одиночным играм у меня проводится только в пятницу. Увы.
Which I barely understand.
Так что после окончания Dishonored и Ziv пойдет сразу SCP.
And the reason why we're doing it, I think, can be summed up with fighting the entropy of the many good game design systems we've accrued over the many years, and finally saying, okay, let's take a look at the things that are creating a lot of
Так что SCP, я думаю, будет в пятницу. Ну или если я гляну там сколько буквально ей надо будет времени для того, чтобы проходить, то можно будет провести внеплановый стрим по SCP. Сделаю чуть-чуть погромче. Некрос Нугл. Короче, Нугл, интересно.
Openness on your part to sustain these changes. We think they're going to be for the better. But this is a conversation
в эту? Что в эту?
with our audience about what we're doing. But that's the kind of long and short of it. I think is to fight the entropy and really face some things that have been kind of getting crusty for years over the life of the game. Yeah, shake off the rust. We do have obviously.
Так, есть предложение, как оптимизировать свой стрим. Вот так.
We have new content and that sort of thing. We're not going to be really talking a lot
Так
about
должно быть
that
лучше.
today because we wanted to give you guys a heads up about the design and the fundamental changes that we're working on.
Exactly, and we'll kick off a platinum prize after that.
And we're going to bribe you all stream.
We're going to bribe you all stream.
We are going to double the
Это во
platinum
что?
prizes for
No,
this
we're
stream.
not, no.
Yes, we are.
Okay, we are.
We're going to double the platinum prize for this stream.
Опа, разрывается
Because
платит.
if you're watching this
Ну-ка.
boring stream with
It's
all the
not
stats,
boring. It's
you
not
deserve to
boring.
be paid or a chance
Stop
to be
it.
paid.
Every graph equals a platinum prize.
Well,
6 prizes.
prizes.
Six prizes.
Thanks, Steve.
so Lil_Moisty has won 333.
Also not
Oh,
right.
right. No. Lil_Moisty333 has won 1,000 platinum on Twitch, and Soul Riveria on Mixer has won 1,000 platinum. It's not boring.
Неплохо.
And in case you are have been convinced by Steve that it somehow will be boring, we have a little bit of that sizzle to start things off to give you the date expectations for the content updates.
Okay.
So let's quickly
Так,
just drop
опа,
that in.
что-то будет.
We
О,
can take a
показывает
look
как
at the
раз
fact that in early March we'll be
операцию
getting
«Алое
Operation
копье».
Scarlet Spear.
В марте и в
This
апреле
is,
выйдет
the biggest lore event in
«Мертвый протокол».
probably the long
Нет,
time for
«Deadlock»
Warframe.
это
And hopefully you guys will have a chance to check it out.
«Закрытая смерть
Nice.
протокол».
We'll enjoy what the
Can I pump that a little bit more?
hell yeah, brother.
So Operation Scarlet Spear is the first,
Но вот больше всего меня интересует эта вот операция Scarlet Spear.
which will be.
Ну, она, собственно, алое копье. Придется ждать SCP. Ну, немножко надо будет подождать.
Missions are going to be interleaved together.
And we can take a look at that live
Oh, we're
on gameplay.
we are?
We'll just show the
We'll just kind of
foundation
show
of it.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very interesting event, unlike any other, where there's
Ну-ка.
real-time.
Как я полагаю, кстати, алое копье будет происходить на
And then in
на
April,
вуале,
we'll have the Corpus Remaster and
Proxima
the
вуале.
Corpus with the Deadlock Protocol.
With the Deadlock Protocol.
Так
we've
что
seen a
это
little
будет
bit of
интересно.
art rework, but,
А реле, интересно, будет на Railjack находиться или будет находиться в одном из
I can't
реле?
believe I'm saying it. There's a
Стандартных.
quest that's coming with the Warframe for the Deadlock Protocol. There is a Jackal kind of.
Today we'll get to that in another stream.
Okay.
This
Я
is not
ищу
content.
дня
Okay,
никак.
all right, all
Cut,
right.
you're cut
смысле?
off. You
Anyway,
said
we
this
have
had to
this.
be
We have
boring.
this stuff.
Okay, and then the key art, of course, for the upcoming Operation Scarlet Spear.
Yep.
Ух ты.
Here is what awaits you,
Вау,
Tenno.
какая красота.
There you go. Shit's getting real.
Операция алое
All
копье.
right. And then we have, in addition to that, if people are wondering just exactly how the lore will get pushed forward,
Поражать
in
без
addition to
чего.
the event itself being a lore event, there will also be a on login. For some players, we're still figuring out the exact details, but if you open the mock-up V2, you can see that there's going to be
Опа.
a third connecting piece to the Chimera
Пролог,
Prologue,
Эра
the
и
Era Prologue,
что-то
and then there's gonna be a third piece
неизвестное.
releasing with Operation
Это
Scarlet.
уже
Right, 'cause
интересно.
New War is basically chapters.
Yeah.
Что интересно там будет?
This isn't Chimera Prologue. This is New War and the components to it.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to. I know a lot of you have missed the Era
Yes.
story reveal.
Yes, which is a perfect place to start off our agenda. Sorry, but you can say something. Was that intentional?
No.
Was that intentional? What were you going to say?
I was gonna say my tape on my glasses is kind of breaking. I was going to say that that stuff will be surfaced, and you'll be
Yes.
able to kind of click through those things.
Что у нас дальше интересно по информации будет?
And watch them.
Okay, well, let's.
Does that connect somehow?
Yes,
does.
it does.
Number one.
It's literally the first thing on the agenda.
Look how excited she is.
Oh my god.
Жаль, конечно, что их трое, а не четверо, как обычно.
Let's look at that agenda slide again.
Ну-ка.
Let's take another look at that agenda slide.
Нифига не
So
понимаешь?
they're
Ну,
starting
в
our
принципе,
agenda. Okay, Railjack onboarding changes.
Oh, yes.
я думаю, это не так страшно. Главное, это
alright,
поставить
we-
на главные
back to-
фишки, которые
So
будут.
basically, we have a very
Просто
awesome
потом
stats team,
будет впадло
and
пересматривать
over
этот
time,
Devstream.
as we're, you know,
А сейчас
working
можно
towards
раз совсем сразу
Era,
ознакомиться.
the connecting piece to the next part of the story that
То
we're
есть
trying to
они
tell
говорят сейчас про
Warframe.
алое копье по поводу
We
того, как
have
они будут его
basically come to the
разрабатывать.
conclusion that the grind is too high to own
Вернее,
Warframe.
почти готовы.
It
И
did
оно
serve
выйдет
as
в
a way for
марте.
veterans to get rid of their stockpiles, but generally
Будет связано
speaking,
с активностью
the
владеющих разумом.
fall-off rate for people completing Rising Tide
My English is
much
very
higher
good.
than other quests because of the grind involved. So what we're doing is with the
Неплохо.
first mainline of 2020, so everything we're talking about today is going to release before Scarlet Spear. So all of these 20 things are going to come as sort of a revised update for Warframe, and then the content is going to come after. So everything today comes in a batch, and then Scarlet Spear will launch as an event.
So we can
Yeah.
shake up the bugs. Of
Yeah.
it.
У них, если что, стрим, ну, как обычно, в принципе, дев-стримы длятся у них раз в 2 недели по часику. Опа. Подлагивание.
So, Dean, if you can come to my screen, of course, depending on how big your stockpiles were as a veteran, you may not have had issues. So, and there's going to be 3 exact states you'll find yourself in. You have not started the quest, you're halfway through it, or you've finished it.
2 ускоряющих дрона, а что кроме этого?
Not only do you get the difference back in all the resources that you use to complete it, so this is the difference.
По-моему, как-то до хера.
The sum of all the resources have a difference between them, and this is what I'm getting back. But
Это, конечно, мало, 80 пробитов. Но 20 неродов это уже неплохо.
So, if you're part way through the quest, you'll get 1, and if you haven't started, then you'll just get the new cost quest.
We're fancy.
Yes.
А, это тем, у кого есть Religion. Как не повезло барсуку. Для тех, у кого нет. Для тех, у них. Неплохо. Для тех, кто участвовал в LG, получают все эти 22 награды. Те, кто отстрадался, не понял, типа этот стрим. Да? Типа вот этот стрим по Warframe. Ну вообще да, этот стрим полностью про Warframe.
That's great.
Yep, and you know, again, what Rebecca's showing there is.
Ну это вернее от самих создателей, то есть вот сидит у нас. Слева это глава разработчиков, в центре это у нас этот, Ребекка, она же гендиректор, не гендиректор. Она связана с популяризацией, в общем, Warframe. И справа я не помню, кто он.
Is the Railjack bug fixes.
Yes.
So that is the second item on the agenda. The whys are not necessarily very deep. We just need to fix the Railjack content.
Yep. And so this year, I think looking at our bug counts, we've done a bit of internal restructuring and started to increase the amount of bug triage that we're doing, which is basically just another way of saying we've changed some of the management on how we are trying to fix the game for you guys. The other thing I think that's connected to that we're working on right now, which we are unfortunately not able to do in time for Scarlet
Мне вот интересно, что еще покажут на Devstream.
time-limited windows where we invite a heck of a lot more
Еще мне интересно, что у меня такая лютая просадка.
So the team right now is
И
working
при этом все нормально, пропущенных кадров 0.
basically
Раз нагрузки нету, можно немножко сделать потише, кулер.
Moment to moment and day to day, but we're looking at having, and of course they are careful not to spoil anything, but we are also looking at this year having a big surge of the number of people that we're inviting to play builds.
Я в Warframe не понимаю, но это типа доты? Не, это вообще не дота. Это что-то как бы тебе объяснить? Это экшен-шутер с элементами MMORPG. Ну, я бы не сказал, что это дота. Это 100% не дота, но больше как похоже, скажем так, на Warface, но не настолько тупейший донат, который тут решает. Тут, в принципе, можно и не донатить. Тут особо это ничего не решает. Хотя я донил сюда довольно большую сумму, но это все ушло только на скины. Все, что нужно было мне для прокачки, все я оформил самостоятельно.
The enemies in Warframe become harder to kill when their stats go up, their effective hit points. Their health, their shield, or their armor determines this.
То есть, в принципе, Warframe это затягивающая игра, у которой охренительный просто сюжет. Сюжет просто вау.
It would scale in a way that made the EHP of enemies just very, very high. What this meant was your corrosive projections or your corrosive procs were the only game in town, and people just did not like that. They didn't like, not only just that, just the armor being the gateway for, you know, the lifespan of these enemies.
Кстати, у человека, который справа, я думаю, это за чатом не видно, но там нарисован клем. Вернее, лицо клема.
The way it's just mathematically structured is vastly superior to all other forms. We'll be getting to the other factions, mind you, in a moment. But the one thing that we haven't liked for a while is how armor scales infinitely into the
Донат-вал
sky.
тоже решает. Но это я знаю, что донат-вал решает. Еще как решает. А тут, в принципе, донат ничего не решает в Warframe. То есть ты можешь задонить, конечно. Ты просто выфармишь, скажем так, чуть-чуть быстрее Warframe. Если, допустим, ты Warframe, это как главный персонаж, ты фармил его, допустим, ну, скажем там, часик от силы, может быть 2 часика. Ну, с донатом ты его выфармишь гораздо быстрее, скажем так. То есть не выфармишь, а можешь купить сразу. Только это выброшенная будет донатерская валюта. Чисто я от себя рекомендую покупать в Варфе только скины за донат.
These graphs for me quickly, but this is the how you can see it scales up.
Yes.
And there's no end in sight. Up and up and up it goes.
Now, what we're doing is...
You can picture that curve just continuing.
It just goes.
Единственный, который смотришь? Не знаю, может быть.
Now, the segment that I'm hovering now
Я
has a
после
slight
Devstream потом
of an
пойду
S
сразу же
curve,
это,
as you can see.
играть
Instead of it being
в сам Warf,
a straight up rising ramp,
если
it is
что.
a curve that in the lower levels, you can see a lower value, and then once you get to that crossing point around level 75, it starts to taper off. So this blended S-curve...
Я бы это сделал просто это параллельно, но у меня бы тут немножко не потянул. Twitch вместе с Warf'ом одновременно.
Yeah, as you can see, around 70-ish, it's going to start. The growth is going to stop becoming
Так что
exponential.
Yes.
And it's going
сам
to
бар,
have this kind of diminishing returns to it.
Yes.
And health and shields also follow
твой бар.
the same curve style, only the tail of the S is...
Это что такое? У меня компания тут.
So, Dean, if you come back to us, we can just briefly explain what that means. So,
Я не понимаю, какой бар?
Scott said the curve for the health and shields will change.
Может быть, Warf?
Yeah, the tail of the S would basically, for armor it stays flatter, for shields and health it will be steeper. So to make them a little bit more important.
В Warframe я покажу, что это такое через минут 30 где-то, как раз. Потому что пол Devstream у них где-то уже как раз прошло.
The actual gameplay at these levels, because right now, you know, it used to.
И через половину Devstream как раз будет,
cap, and now we've kind of reached territories where level
скажем
80
так, геймплей в Warf'е.
level 80 enemies, and sorties you're getting level 80 to 100. So in that range now, you'll be able to have a bit more of a build variety because you don't need to focus on corrosive.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly the intention.
Я надеюсь, что Алая Копье выпустит где-то в начале марта, чтобы можно было чем заняться до апреля, а в апреле уже выйдет еще дополнение. Что будет веселье?
Excellent. And this actually...
It is going to be difficult to predict because I think we're only on item 3.
Yeah. So there's a...
So I think, again, if I think you need to, if you're watching at home...
Интересно, а в чем прикол быть без компа? Это разве удобно?
We've made the game too easy.
Just wait.
We got more to talk about. This is kind of part of a larger thing, so let's keep trucking.
The one other change that's interesting in the
На компе ведь есть много интересных игрушек.
Is the way that applies to you as a player. We've added a new Tенно labeled version of these stats. Up until now, they were shared with AI, which meant...
Yeah, so if anyone's really dug deep into the way the mechanics work about Warframe, there's like a shield type and a health type and a armor type, and those types on Tенно were shared with AI. So there was varying weaknesses and resistances to different health types that were shared with the base AI of the game. So you as a player had the same sort of shield as a level 1 corpus guy, so you were more susceptible to, like, say, impact damage. Just because that.
Кстати, Warframe очень славится тем, что у него охренительная оптимизация. И все.
And kind of neutralize that.
Хреново.
Currently we're playing with shields having a kind of a flat 25% damage reduction.
Yep.
Across the board for all damage types. That's up for debate still as we're testing, but that's currently a way to bring more emphasis to shields.
Yes, and we're changing as well the recharge delay between a fully depleted shield and a
Не, ну это, конечно, печальненько.
Minor things there, if you're able to sort of keep your shield up, if you get into cover fast enough, it'll come back faster than a full depleted shield.
Yes.
Yes. And of course, we will get to a section called shield gating later, but before we do, the infested are also getting a little bit of a touch up in their own section.
А не задумывался насчет покупки компа?
On these curves by not only just, you know, changing their health stat or armor where applicable, we're also, because they're a close range enemy that telegraph most attacks, we are just simply increasing the damage of those so that if they have managed to get close to you, the parkour space ninja, they're just going to hit harder. So they're the mobility faction for defensive purposes. Stay mobile, bullet jump away, and...
If we're talking about factions too, we shouldn't glance over the fact that the corpus shields have generally changed. Most enemies now have a shield gate. They have a weak spot on them, like the headshot, that will bypass the shield gate. They have a bleed over, so if you bring your
Почему у меня, блин, подлагивает долбаный стрим?
you can still pancake a level 1 corpus crewman using that weapon because there's a small percentage of damage that bleeds over past the shield gate if you manage to take it all out.
Yeah, and we can show that live too.
Yeah, there's also
We'll get to the shield gating section. It'll be full of gameplay.
You were talking about the factions, so I wanted to make sure that the corpus wants to go.
The corpus are, and I mean, they're about to get a remaster, so you better be prepared to fight.
Интересно, какие сейчас будут дары Лотос после
They're ready for it.
Devstream.
So another thing with enemies overall is the AI aimbot thing. Sometimes you'll see players make threads saying, oh, the AI just aimbotted me out of nowhere. And what we've done in this case is we've reviewed the way that accuracy is tuned at high levels to change it so that is less of a occurrence.
Yeah, so when we originally obviously launched the game, the AI levels were kind of between 0 and 30 as a baseline for testing and balancing. That's kind of what we were looking at. Over years, that's grown quite substantially, but the data remained kind of clamping the aiming and the aggro system we have for AI from 0 to 30 basically. So we separated out the aiming from the aggro.
Да, иногда такие моменты, конечно, отвратительные, когда они просто болтают.
And we dropped the very high end
Особенно, когда я не особо много чего понимаю язык
so that
речи.
they're not so accurate and so quick to get that high end accuracy.
Yeah, so there's a broader range of accuracy. There's still the factors of are you moving, are you jumping?
Yes.
That mobility factors into how likely they are to miss as well.
I think like a 75 or a level 75 elite lancer with the aim graph going, standing completely still has about an 80% chance to hit you. If you start moving, that percentage dramatically falls depending on which parkour move you're doing, and the velocity you're moving, at the distance you're moving, all the way down to 0, so they'll still completely miss you.
The other fix I saw go in related to this was the burst weapon stuff. Did you see that?
Yes. Yes. First multi-shot weapons were the second and third shot were basically guaranteed hits.
Yes, perfect aimbot.
Perfect aimbot.
Didn't even check the aiming system.
So the hard pack, it's a burst, an enemy burst weapon, burst and
So
Мне вот интересно, что это у них за грамота на
the AI
стене.
types that use burst weapons and be like, oh, okay,
That's why.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. This is actually really interesting. There you go, Steve.
I saw one guy had to go take a poop, so
Okay.
it's a mix.
Okay.
People find it interesting, but also people bathroom
Well,
break.
that was only item number 5. Platinum prize? Let's do
Let's
it.
do another platinum
I
prize.
think every graph is a platinum prize.
Every yeah.
И снова розыгрыш 1000 платины.
All right. So that's why the Kraken enemies felt so strong.
Снова не повезло.
Oh, Vegan Patchy has one
Лично
on
мне.
Twitch, and people_Texas_Kings has one on Mixer. So make sure you call us on the Twitch Whispers, on the Mixer messages to give us ye old prize. So that was just item number 5. Now we're on item 6, shield gating, friend and foe. So, as Scott was just explaining, the friend aspect of shield gating is as follows, which is you as a player, your shields.
Yes, players now, everyone has a shield gate.
Shield gates. How do they work? What is the nature?
Shield gate. So shield gate is if you have an active shield, and you take a shot, it'll actually nullify all the damage. It won't spill into your health pool.
Yes.
Unless you're an AI, it will spill about 5%, you said?
Yes, it's 5%.
So there still
Depending
is...
on a weak spot. If it's a weak spot, it's 100% spillover.
If you hit a weak spot on a
Когда же, блин, наконец-то в Warf подвезут новый контент, а то там делать почти ничего не осталось лично мне.
Titania don't have the one-shots, so it's gonna reduce the
Хотя можно, в принципе, чисто помогать новичкам.
aspects.
Yeah, so we explored shield gating before, and Hildren went out with shield gating. I think
Я,
the
наверное,
fix
отойду на
that
минутку
has kind
и
of
как раз
made this more
вернусь.
viable. A lot of our enemies in the
Может, они
game
как
have
раз что-то
very
интересное
high
покажут.
fire rate.
В принципе, я в любом случае буду у себя там на втором компе смотреть Devstream. Так что, если что-то упущу, я все смогу рассказать.
One-shot kill, but the high fire rate guys never really give you an opportunity to go.
Пока я оставлю послушать вот это
A
вот
very
всё.
small window of invulnerability between when the shield gate trips to when it starts chewing into your health. So even in a high fire rate situation, players should be able to register that their shields are gone and start doing something about it.
Yeah.
It's very small though, and it's something we'll play with as we go, but it is there. So there's a very small moment of invulnerability between them.
Yes, and people are asking about how damage will work with this, and the way that we're specifically slash and toxin. So the way this is going to work is it's going to be sort of archetypal. Slash damage will still deal damage over time to enemies with armor. You'll still get your slash procs, you'll be doing your dots, you'll be taking your slash. Toxin will still be direct to health damage. But slash procs on a shielded unit will now deal slash damage over time to the shield and then eventually the health if it breaks it down. So slash is very good against Grineer or armored enemies. It's still good against shields if you can take their shields down, it'll do the health damage. But toxin will bypass shields. So there's a bit more of a archetype across those damage types as well.
Yeah, less blending, I think.
Yes.
Less fuzziness.
People are saying, is there a shield sound for when the shield gating is happening? Do you know if there is a? Do you know what's happening right now?
We have there's been a shield sound. I think you guys are used to not hearing, or used to tuning it out at this point. But there is a shield down sound that we can doubly confirm, and maybe we can pop it out of the mix a bit. We can talk to George and company.
Yep.
And see what
Sure
they can do.
I think we talked about that on the sound stream.
George gave
2
me
weeks
these
ago.
glasses, so
No, he didn't.
I think
They're Megan's.
He'll be checking.
So if you want to come to my gameplay real quick, Dean, I'm just going to use a sniper here. This is a level 200, actually maybe I'll switch. This is a level 200 enemy, but if you don't hit the weak points, which would be
You're
a
gonna shoot him
headshot.
right in the junk.
I'm going to shoot him right in the junk. So that, the shield gate saved him.
I can't
So-
believe you're demoing.
The shield gate
But
saved him.
you can see the bleed over as
But
well.
you can see the bleed over. So it
Yeah.
did eat into his health. So the shield gate saved him. But obviously the headshot would kill him. Had I landed just a headshot, which I probably could have just spawned 2 enemies, but the junk shot would have been less dramatic. So had I just done a headshot, dead. So you can bypass shield gating on porpoise enemies or shielded enemies with skill in landing your shots.
That's right.
So that's sort of the
Кажется, они
intent.
решили показать
So the
переработку
shield gate saved him? Not
урона для
And
корпуса.
I think there's a little lore
Так я
with it
полагаю.
because we have confirmed that the groin is not a weak point in the corpus.
It's not.
So that's actually part of the lore of the corpus that you learned today. In real life, it is a weak point. Just
All right.
keep that in mind, okay?
All right, now we're gonna go right into self-damage changes, because getting hit in the groin in real life would be self-damage, wouldn't it?
No. If you hit
Who
yourself,
hits the gun?
I guess it depends who hits you. All right, so self-damage has been one of those things, especially with the release of the Kuba Brahma, that cannot benefit from the cautious shot mod that reduces self-damage, that players have just said, just take it out of the game. So we did.
И что еще они собираются интересно
Self-damage will
показать?
be removed from Warframe, but it's being replaced with a self.
say, wow, you make some tall years. You sound like corpus
I know.
leadership.
You can no longer kill yourself with. You can come to the gameplay, Dean. You can no longer kill yourself with self-damaging weapons. So,
Except for your son.
Except for your sentinel, that was on purpose.
There still is a skill component here.
А вот и
Yes.
Лорис тот самый.
Out the crazy AoEs that these have.
But
И
you cannot
измененный
kill
симулятор.
yourself. What?
Which is very important.
Yes, that is.
Here's this really powerful weapon.
Yeah.
Blow yourself up 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So what's happening here? So if I get, let's get three, 4, 5, 4 butchers. Let's just make them level 75 to do our new armor scaling. Pause AI. Simulate. Here we go.
Ну-ка.
Skill component, which means I will demo this horribly.
I was gonna say this. We have a nice video of this
I know,
as well.
which is actually my video, but
Use the video.
no. So if I was, playing a mission and I got too close, you now do self-interrupts.
You also did the cool.
Кстати, а неплохой взрыв.
Yeah.
Did you actually do the recovery?
Yes.
You're not supposed to demo that.
Yeah, you're supposed to show the full and then the recovery.
Oh, sorry. Well, I just wanted to look cool.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry, guys. I looked cool.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Не, ну у ворот
There you go.
интересно.
testing.
There you go. So you can do ninja recoveries from your AoE, blast rocket weapons.
And they all, if you do the recovery correctly, you can also double jump and also dodge out of it as well now.
Yes. So it's gonna. Can you? Sorry. Can you say that again?
Said if you do the recovery correctly, you're still open for a double jump or a dodge out of it as well.
Ah.
Но оно выглядит как-то сыровато, правда.
Lure your way out of harm's way. And
Holy shit. So what does that mean for all your weapons that deal self-damage? They will all be transitioning into this stagger system.
Когда следующий стрим?
System. You will be able to no longer kill yourself if an ally walks in front of you, if an enemy strafes you, whatever it may be. It's going to have this new component.
В принципе, я не Ребекка,
Your cat, your dog, whatever
но
it is.
следующий стрим, наверное, будет через 2 недели у разрабов. Хотя нет, следующий стрим у них Xbox One at One. Это в понедельник.
Damage approximately that follow into this category approximately increased by 20%. But what's happened is we've done
Потом во вторник PS4 at 4.
damage overall, so the nuclear impact.
Потом у них Devstream по Nintendo Switch в среду.
Radius is
Он вроде так и называется.
Yeah, radius is a bit bigger, more damage.
Потом Prime Time, как обычно.
Ground zero point.
Ночью в четверг. Вернее, ночью в пятницу.
So, for example, if you are just on the outside, see how I just
И
flinched
всё.
there? The closer you are to the explosion, the more extreme the stagger.
That's cool.
So if you're just, on the outskirts, which I am here, you can see my Umbra just flinching. That's because I'm out the blast radius. But if I was right in front of this enemy, then that's when I would get the most extreme version of the stagger.
Yep.
So there you go. And that is how your self-damage weapons will behave in the first mainland update of the year.
So chat's saying rest in peace Chroma,
Ah, yes.
right? So have we got that in our notes? How that's gonna work?
Походу хотят что-то сделать с хромой.
So
rep.
yeah, I mean the reality there is.
Аж придется по новой изучать его для того, чтобы он нормально был на терах.
Right.
These are. This
is the give and take.
This is the give and take. So that will be the case for that. How permanent that is, I mean, that will be. Self-damage is gone. We're gonna have to see what happens. Once the build's live for maybe a week, we can look into changes, but it's not gonna be a reaction before.
And what will cautious shot do now?
It will stagger production.
Okay.
Or something else. I think they were still experimenting.
Yeah, I think there's levels of the stagger that we talked about. There's the flinch, there's the stagger, there's the knockdown, and then there's the full ragdoll. Cautious shot, I think, if Joe told me this correctly, will basically drop a level.
Okay.
So even on the closest, you might just get the flinches or the staggers.
All right.
Versus getting pancaked.
All right.
All right, next on our list on the agenda, let's pull it up real quick just to see how far we've gotten through. We are on item 8, Excavator Help, Shield
Так, ну, в
Stagger.
принципе, они показали уже где.
This is a fast one. We'll just go quick.
Если они аж до Огриса дошли. Блин, я не заменял последнее.
Now, with the power of the excavation changes, he can. So what's happening here is we are adding scaling health and shields to excavator drones that drop from the sky in your excavation missions. They will follow the mobile.
А, точно, они хотели еще переработать экскаваторы на раскопках.
Yes.
So as I hop into a mission, if you want to add any more points on that, it's pretty straightforward, not a lot.
No more points to add.
Yeah, so you guys can just see it in action.
They scale now.
You can see it in action to see the...
No more one-shots from liches.
No more one-shots from liches.
2 shots.
2 shots. So if I go to my dig site, let's take a look at the UI on the left, and pa-bam! It is no longer flat. It has scaled with the mission. So there you go. Excavation missions now scale. Item number...
И где же переработка?
Oh no, I lost my preferred sheet. Too many pages. Oh, here we go. Titania Changes and the Vauban tweak. Titania Changes, which were covered in a past stream, everything from the tribute selection to minor changes to the self-casting of Spellbind, to Lantern now being tethered. All of this is also shipping with the main line, in addition to Vauban receiving an armor buff.
Yes, that's a very small tweak.
Very small tweak.
A twick.
A twick. So he has an armor buff as well, just for a bit more.
После Devstream, в принципе, если что, пойду в Warf, и со мной можно будет поиграть.
So this is also coming with the main line. So what this means is, Dean, if you'll come to my screen, right now, a player journeying through the star chart will have them, they basically will be playing every node to complete and play their arbitrations.
Опа,
Each of these nodes
Sanctuary.
has a mission reward table. And right now, those reward tables, often or not, are made up of denominations of credits and endo. So if you're doing a mission on Earth, the endo rewards might be, 10% for
интересно, а что в
endo,
Sanctuary
10%
добавили?
for 50 endo, 10% for 80.
Или добавят?
We're just doing a bit of house cleaning and cutting the lower end of all those so that you'll only be the only endo or credit value you'll get will be the highest one in those tables. It's not an earth-shattering change for these rewards, but as players are playing through the star chart, they should see a minor bump in the amount of those items they're getting because they won't.
And also, higher players won't be getting
Yes.
absolutely useless stuff.
Yeah. Higher players won't be getting the total bottom of the category things, and we are working on furthering these changes later. But for the main line, this is what will be coming. It's just going to be some housekeeping. So we will be getting rid of the lowest tier for those. As for select UI changes from Dev Workshop Part 2, if you are a studious Tenno, such as Steve is here with his glasses on,
Это интересно, они покажут Sanctuary или
I
нет?
lost my tape.
You lost
no,
what?
I got a little bit left.
Now.
Yep.
I have so much paper at this point, I almost feel...
You killed a tree just to
I
bring
really feel like I did, but that's...
No, it's not helping.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Охренеть,
It's
как там
fine.
много
We will be
страничек.
doing, the item labels will be set to on by default, so if you're a player that likes to see what the icons represent, the labels will be on by default in the game. Avionics screen. Yeah. Okay, so if we click, well, I mean, it's not that, but item labels will be
Новый
on.
интерфейс.
So
А,
that's
да,
the
точно,
labels
новый
will
интерфейс, да.
the labels of the items.
Его.
What else we got going on in that?
Интерфейс Lotus интересный, конечно.
We have hold to confirm being added to the abort screen so people don't accidentally abort arbitrations on consoles. Hold to confirm will no longer be used on intrinsics in the avionics.
Yep.
The death screen, if you're dead but your squad's alive, will preserve the HUD so you can see mission and squad status. There will be a forge all button on the payloads and dojos. We're putting more stats. Actually, don't know if this one's hooked up yet, but I am curious to see. There will be more stats on the display, the detailed preview window. So if I actually search, for example, for Kuba Brahma, well, not Braid. Will this work?
Новые оружие Ковы или что?
It's there.
Oh, I'll just do this one. It does.
Oh, okay.
Showing, so you'll get the stats right away now. You won't need to hover over to
That
see
was
the
the
stats.
other one I was.
So
I was
this will
thinking
be
of, yeah.
Ого,
just a bit more
90%
details for the
статуса.
items you're looking at in
А
game.
где кредит?
So those will all be shipping with the main line as
А
well.
кредита, походу, нету.
All right, so that's select changes from the UI Part 2 workshop.
Походу, это будет единственная пушка, у которой нету критов, но есть дикий статус.
Mainline 2020. All right. Next up, 100 times resource blueprints. Right now, you can get your 10 times resource restore, not resource. If you want to build 10 energy restores at a time, you can get the blueprint to do so from your syndicates. We're adding the ability to build 100 from clan research. So if you want to find a way to get your 100
Ух ты ж, бляха.
batches of 100 large squads, you can research them in the dojo.
Что
They
это
will be
такое?
using Railjack resources to give more meaning to the Railjack resources you're accruing. These are currently scaled for a shadow clan, and you can get those here. So if you've got your shadow, we might change the costs not final, but you can expect Railjack
Это, походу, что-то для Railjack, как я полагаю.
Research to create your very own 100 batches of large resources. It's a pizza factory.
It's no longer a shop, it's a factory.
Factory.
The things that make me cringe: the aspect ratio of the icon and the
Походу, мне
UI.
придется очень долго фармить ресурсы.
Work in progress, dev build.
Хотя 20 тысяч кубических диодов это не так уж и много.
Also on the list.
Okay.
Посмотрим, в
We're just
принципе.
ripping through this. I
Well,
love it.
it's what time is it?
I know we gotta
It's
make.
2:45.
Do we need to do another reward right now?
Yes,
let's
do
do
a
some
reward.
platinum right
Do a
now.
reward.
Let's make it rain.
Yep. Finally something to use RJ Mats on. Oh shit.
Это ж сколько можно таблеток сразу себе взять?
Alright, here we go. Let's you can read them out, Steve, while I get organized here.
Capped Crunch 1911 on Twitch and Onizuka Tenno. Hey, love that name. On Mixer.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
Very cool.
Неплохо.
Alright. Congrats, you gotta message us and say, here's my platform, here's my name.
Я думаю, через 15 минут как раз пойдем
We'll give it to you.
в сам вар.
Next up on the list is Sentinel sharing weapon mods. On the live version of
О,
Warframe,
наконец-то
if your
что-то про
Ogress
владеющих,
has a
кажется,
max
скажут.
restoration on it belongs to that Ogress and you cannot share it with your Sentinel. So if you have a Sentinel that wants to have a serration on it as well, you have to max a second. We are now just allowing them to simply be shared.
А, они наконец-то починили эту херню.
You know, you can sell
Не
your
использовать
other
дубликаты.
serration if you want to, because now you can just equip the same on both. So that's a little one, but it's a big wish list item.
Наконец-то будет нормально, можно будет делать, не придется
Okay.
собирать по два сложных и страшных мода.
Years too late and so on and so forth.
Damn.
You know, it is here.
It is here. The reason being there have been some
Хотя стражами я не
that
пользуюсь,
have been added since mods that
но все равно
the
полезно.
value proposition of maxing a second mod is now something that maybe you'd want to just put it into another system entirely at this point. We have focus, syndicates, everything that just might be.
And also the inventory juggling that it creates is sloppy and gross and just need to go away.
Yep, there you go. All right.
Nothing worse than getting your load all done and then hitting yep, and then it's like, oh, that's shared on there. And you're like,
All for Peter's sake.
yes, that's what I was going to say.
Peter's sake. Hey,
Peters.
that's a bourbon-free profanity. All right, next up is Arcane Changes. So this is the change that is
Переработка
basically
Oracle,
built
походу,
on
будет какая-то.
the foundation
Если я
of
правильно
all
понял.
health armor changing. So because all of that is changing, Arcanes are getting.
Когда, интересно, новый Умбра будет?
Because if shield gating is a thing,
Just give it to her.
just give it to me.
Just let
give
her
it to
say
me.
that's
That was the
mine.
reason.
Well, because shield gating
She
got
wrote a
added.
better one in the workshop.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you why. So because shield gating got added, the Arcane Aegis was like, oh, should we change this? What should we do? And then we started looking at everything.
Yeah, I guess it opened up a can of worms like many things. So arcanes were kind of always meant to be like a special thing that happens that can turn the tide of combat. Double stacking them basically created those things happening far too often. So we are going to remove double stacking.
Yes.
But we are going to, across the board, move all arcanes that you could double stack to rank 5.
Yes.
And so that will also basically mean they all grow to about 1.5 times their base power. And
Ух ты,
then we are
какие-то интересные
doing
мистификаторы,
an
аркейн.
audit of the current arcanes and kind of nerfing and
Что это
buffing
интересно за
and kind of
мистификаторы будут?
hopefully
Это вроде
normalizing
мистификаторы
those
владеющих, что ли?
there is more diversity in the builds that people want to run, and it isn't just the same 3. Everyone, you
А,
must get
аркейн это
these,
все
everyone's farming
мистификаторы.
for just these. Meanwhile, there's 30.
Меня интересует, почему у мистификаторов 5
Yeah. So
ячеек, а не 3.
So we're buffing the low end.
Это не сильно ли много?
We're trying not to nerf the top end too hard. We're adding the
Типа, чтобы одним мистификатором можно было заменить сразу 2 мистификатора или как?
to them. So some were proccing far too often, but they were still like fun to use. So instead, we're adding like some of the instant ones. We're adding a little bit of duration to them and not allowing them to refresh while that duration is going on. So basically, a small cooldown mechanic for some of the really powerful ones, just to kind of throttle them a bit and bring some of the other ones up. So.
So if you
That's the plan. So we're doing an audit of basically all of the arcanes and giving them a little bit of buff and nerf and change. And
across the board. So if you come to my screen now, you'll see that historically, if you wanted to avoid the
Ну, в принципе, ничего не изменилось, только теперь, ой, как до хера придется фармить. Ой, как до хера, ой, как до хера. Пиздец.
Now one will give you 100% resistance.
Даже зарядка взлетит просто в цене.
So you could use that second arcane slot. So say you wanted to do one that had to do with armor.
Это ж тебе, получается, нужно будет
So if you wanted
6.
your arcane tanker, which at rank 5 now gives you, if you equip your arc gun, you get plus 1200 armor for 10 seconds.
Даже
So you could switch that other arcane out for something.
21 мистификатор требуется.
On a finisher,
Зарядки.
you get 100% chance plus 1200 armor for 8 seconds. So
8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds.
8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds.
Work in progress.
Work in progress. Work in progress. Yes,
По-моему,
so
игра станет
that
сильно
would be
жесткой, и мне придется
something
опять,
that
походу,
changes
фармить
across the board.
мистические
This is going to
обнуления.
be a change to the meta, and I can, we totally understand this particular change. I think is, you know, a bit scary for some of you in chat. I can see a lot of negative or reluctant reactions.
Да, походу придется снова
But we
фармить
are going
все
to do a
это.
balance pass, as Scott said, on the existing arcanes that we think are going to increase the diversity and make sure that there's not just one or two double stack arcanes as the only ones that are valuable and the rest are trash. So we will be listening, but we think that the current situation the current situation in entropy is not a good one. For the reasons that there are other arcanes that are completely useless. I mean, you were telling me about the one healing one that's like an absolute joke right now. Which one was that?
And
you were
I meant
talking
nullifier,
about?
by the way. I meant arcane nullifier for magnetic damage,
Yeah.
not radiation.
Yeah.
Brain
Like
fart.
some of the healing.
There was-
А
ones.
хотя, если это будет мистификатор на оператора, то это, мне кажется, будет уже очень удобно.
Yes, when you pick up a
Тогда,
healing
получается,
ward, it was
у
literally,
оператора будет 800 хп, а не 450, и это будет как раз...
like the guy would have to
как удобно.
simultaneously be picking up the same orb as you in order for it to do anything. So
Yeah, on health pickup. So this one is, the nearby one.
yeah, which another thing I need to talk to Pablo about is some of the ones that have radius and strength in them aren't listed correctly.
Ah.
Yeah, see, like that is just saying 40% chance to heal a nearby enemy.
How nearby?
How nearby? How much? So there's a few stats that are surfaced in the arcanes as well, which I think might be fun to surface.
And I can see people in chat saying, well, the other arcanes are useless because you made them boring or useless, and of course, that's why we're here talking about this.
Yeah,
which is
so we
for
are
us to
bringing up the
correct
low
that.
end. We're getting input on which are the worst and bringing them up. So hopefully we can kind of normalize it so that players can see that there's options in this choice. And it isn't just find these two and be done.
Those are the only three that matter.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
like having the options and only having three matter is just...
And again, I think the community team, to their credit, has done a very good job in communicating changes like this that might not be popular or will have a lot of, receive a lot of reluctance.
Как же много
I
болтовни,
can
блин.
definitely see us changing drop rates to
Yes.
kind of compensate for those extra ranks. So there'll be ways I
Okay.
think we're really not trying to squeeze you guys for a ton of extra grind here. We're trying to actually fix and the meta to be a bit
So
more diverse.
by going to rank 5, you can actually absorb your double stack ones. So there is still a use for those.
There is a still
Yeah,
use
if you
for
have two
those.
Arcane Guardians fully ranked, you can use your fully ranked one to go feed into Arcane Guardian to make them up almost a rank 5 perfect one. I think you just need one more.
more.
And that is the thing. Well,
And it's not, and just to repeat this again, this is not any of the stuff you hear today. We may have to do drop table changes to compensate. The goal here is not at all to increase the grind for anything we're talking about.
yeah, we don't want to say, okay, now go have fun doing your Eidolons again, because we are with Operation Scarlet Spear. We're
That's
going to be
right.
adding all of the arcanes to the reward manifest for you
right.
to choose what ones you get as you participate in the event. So
We want to correct mistakes in the meta. We do not want to squeeze you for more grind.
no, you'll be able to play Scarlet Spear as you're playing, doing your squad links, getting your points. You can.
That's right.
Little Duck will be providing all the arcanes for you to pick and choose the ones.
Oh, little duck.
Little Duck.
Little duck.
Little duck, little duck.
Yes, you don't have to go back and just do Eidolons. So make
Right.
sure y'all. That is a.
Y'all.
Yeah, make sure y'all spread the word on that. So you don't need to wait till it's
Wow.
night. You don't need to do that. It'll be in the Operation Scarlet Spear reward. Operation Vendor. So if you're used to that from things like Dog Days or
Походу, это финал Devstream.
Fantastic.
Yes. So,
All right.
Хотя они
Okay,
говорили,
so
что
we
они под
survived
конец
this
что-то там
one,
еще
so that was
покажут
awesome.
интересное.
Let's move on and change the subject
yeah.
quickly.
No, well.
Let's do a plat reward
So,
just to kind of like
all of
clear
this,
that out.
All
in
of
the
these
air.
papers that we're filing through, this is the dev workshop. It will be live the second we're done talking about everything. So you can read everything we've just said in a written form.
Опа.
Transcribing.
Кто-то выиграл платину.
Devstream.
Exactly.
No, yeah,
All right.
we don't read all this.
Wicked Cricket 666, you won on Twitch, and Deathfire 3, you won on Mixer. So, get going. Send us your info. We'll hook you up.
So I saw a comment go by, which I think is very apt, which I think Steve and I have talked about over the last couple weeks, is balance doesn't necessarily mean fun. And I want to, as you were saying, with the drop tables increasing the grind, we still want the power fantasy. We still want the crazy space ninja. We still want you to be mowing through hundreds of enemies and like knife through hot butter.
Yep.
Like that's
Кстати, Бархи принес новый фрагмент этой брони, как оно там называется? Вандала, в общем, не помню какого. Латрон Вандал. И принес две новые интересные штучки. Так что я думаю, мы сейчас еще и займемся немножко фармом этого. Дукатов.
But anyway, let's keep going through our changes.
What a perfect segue. The only game in town, Crit. Crit builds do often dominate the recommended metas for people. But what if status had meaning over 100%? Don't you think? What if? Well, it does. So, with the main line that's coming, if you achieve greater than 100% status chance on a weapon, it will now have meaning. The first meaning will be, say you have a single target, a single bullet weapon, and you have 150, or let's just say 200% status on it, just for easy math. That single shot will achieve 2 status effects. So if you're built for heat and slash, it'll do both of them on the single shot.
Интересно, кстати, заряженный патроник принесут на Феноконе?
Single damage instance if you have greater than 100% status.
You can also double status.
Если да, то будет очень удобно.
But that's not all.
That's not all.
Well, that's not all.
Not just once.
Is there Jinsu knives or something with this?
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
So, yeah, for one.
Here's a juicer, a free juicer.
Yeah.
Yep.
For one low payment of 100%.
Red's uncle will come to your house and clean your floors.
Exactly.
Okay.
We will also be adding a enhanced status effect if you land a duplicate status type on an enemy that's already affected by a proc.
Right.
Yes.
Even in the same frame.
Что ж они в конце, блин, такого интересного покажут, блин.
Even in the same frame.
Ну ты тянут немножко время.
So
but there's a I think we should talk about why we're doing this, which is shotguns are getting a pretty dramatic change.
No, we're not there yet.
First, we were talking about over 100%, which then very quickly opened the crypt of status on shotguns is completely and utterly busted.
Yep.
So we also pulled the crypt keeper out and shook off the dust and fixed that problem as well.
Yeah.
So this one is, I think this one is also going to be a bit of a contentious change, but very necessary. Shotguns act weird, and at the very top end of status act completely super weird versus any other weapon type.
Because the UI was always a sort of indication of not what was really happening. If you had a 99% shotgun status value on your weapon, it would look a little something like this. So if you can pull up shotguns before.
It looks like an agenda.
So on live, the red line is basically status on your shotguns did basically per pellet, not too much until you reached 100%.
Yeah.
So 99% would basically translate into per pellet was about 37-ish%.
Yep.
And then as soon as you got that 1% more total, you jump from 37% per pellet to 100% per pellet.
Yep.
So it was all or nothing with shotguns.
Yeah,
so the mid-range status shotguns were basically utter trash, and anything that could achieve over 100% was basically god tier.
Yeah.
And so the green line is as Moses intended, which is a linear status chance for every, we call them fire iterations internally, but for every pellet that a shotgun or trace or projectile shotgun's sending out, that is what the status chance
would look like.
Should have been.
This is not the case. This is not what we're changing
This is status divided by number of pellets.
Divided by number of
pellets.
Not
some weird probability math under the hood.
So it's a huge nerf. But.
We don't like huge nerfs.
But we don't want to do a huge nerf. So if we go to the next one, you can see what we've done is 3x the status chance.
Что такое баффет, интересно? Кто-то может перевести?
And you can see that we've made the linear curve not only better in the low end and mid-tier cases, much better than it was before, but also intersecting where the math kind of broke and skyrocketed. So the really interesting thing that the multi-status change does and how it interacts with shotguns is, unlike a single damage event, even though, say, you may be on the blue graph there, you might have a 50% chance per pellet, you could actually double proc in the same frame on one enemy, or you can shoot and get really lucky and proc everyone that's in the cloud of pellets. So the multi-proc change, the way it interacts with shotguns makes them kind of
Интересно, что даже сейчас творится в чате?
So I'm very curious how this change is going to play out. So we fixed the math, we buffed all shotgun stats.
Yes, we also, across the board, for all weapon types, buffed the status chance mods.
Yes, so all the melee prowess mods. So for example, if you are, modding a weapon and you think maybe you're a new player, maybe you're a veteran player, and you want to increase the status of a weapon.
These are like massive buffs.
Yeah, so right now, if you were to put melee prowess on the live build, you would get a mod that only gives you, so much status chance. But now you're going to get up to...
It's 15%.
It's 50, yeah, so you'll get 90%. So
not 50.
Они наконец-то сделали его адекватным, неужели?
15 to 90,
Шанс статуса плюс 90%, а было плюс 15. Наконец-то этот мод станет более-менее играбельным, скажем так.
That's right.
Correct?
That's
so
right.
that was... The shotgun graph was unmodded for shotguns. So what you saw there would have been the status chance at different... Well, unmodded, but if you mod it to that percent, then obviously that's what you're going for. So that will be something that the mod refresh, if you want to dip into the status mod meta, you can start looking into that when these changes ship.
Yes, which has then opened up the fact that certain status types don't actually stack properly together, and they don't work nice when they're done multiple times. So we're addressing that on a kind of individual basis. Most of them will continually, like if they're statistical changes, they'll stack up kind of sequentially. So, 50 health on 50 health on 50 health on 50 health. Some of the numbers will have to be adjusted now that they can be stacked on top of each other. Ones that are more unique, we are adding, I guess the easiest way to describe it is a more unique double proc on them. So radiation changes the faction, but then if you double proc, we'll actually get a faction damage bonus applied to the AI as well.
Okay, so again, you're not just hitting a radiation proc again.
Again and again and again, which has no meaning.
No meaning.
So we're gonna, for the ones that are unique, we're going in and kind of making sure that they have meaning. For the ones that are statistical, we're making sure that the stacking works correctly, and they also do stack up. So most of the status numbers will probably have to change and be adjusted to deal with this new reality, and the unique ones will have some cool, hopefully unique things added to them.
Can you show
Интересно, этот патч вступит в силу сейчас, после Devstream, или позже?
Yes, it is. So if you come to
Сколько сейчас, интересно, придется качать его?
Saying my Corinth. So let's use the Corinth as an example. Right now, I'll just switch to an unmodded Corinth. What you'll see is brand new details in the stats. You're going to get damage per projectile. Actually, Corinth might have been a bad example because there's so many attacks in it. But this, if you have the Corinth on public, you can compare. There's a lot that happens with the Corinth.
So yeah, but if you can see the status per projectile, now should we scroll up a little bit?
Up. It's right there.
It's right here.
Up. Right.
Up by 2.
Yep. So right now you can now see status per projectile, and you're getting a total projectile breakdown of damage.
So you can think of shotguns, they've always been this way, but with that weird scoop that penalized sort of middling status.
Они решили выпилить к хренам все криты.
Where it pinned to the ceiling with nowhere to go. You can think of shotguns as the Yahtzee of status, which is the more times you've got your multi-shot there, the more times you're rolling that dice and looking for, now with the new system, maybe double procs, and as well as procs on different enemies within.
Теперь отображается, если можно заметить, вот возле магазина мультишот. Да, как я полагаю, будет написано, сколько выстрелов он делает.
At the bottom?
At the bottom? It just shows you total damage for all. So the total footer for each section will show you that. So 60/60 mods are simply staying as is. I see chat saying 60/60 over and over again. So what about 60/60 mods? They are as is. So the base status mods, such as the 4 I listed, aptitude, prowess, shotgun, savvy, and shot, will have the status.
По-моему, конец какой-то неиграбельный теперь. Как по мне.
So I think if you're watching this and you feel like we've nerfed shotguns, it really isn't that simple, especially combined with the probabilities, multiple rolls per shot, and the chance that actual double status matters more.
Но это, в принципе, можно будет посмотреть еще. Играбельный или не играбельный.
I think that's how it's going to end out.
Yep.
So I don't think you got to RIP your shotguns.
No.
Just yet.
Try it out, my friends.
Yep.
Try it out. There will be a...
And if not, we'll dig it up like the Crypt Keeper and shake off the dust and try again.
Yes, try it out. And then we're also going to be running a double affinity weekend on the respective platforms after this ship, so you'll have that weekend to, you know, if you want to change some things, it'll just be... Yes.
Надо сделать рецензию на ТСО. Обновленную.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
Yep.
Yes. It's 3:05 and we're not even halfway done. Well,
And then you know, in terms of thinking about consistency, now
уведомление из Warframe.
100% is working consistently.
Операция Scarlet Spear coming early March. Но это я знаю. Ага. Дар Лотос.
Would you call this a high entropy state?
oh boy.
Yeah.
The winner of Twitch's 1000
15 тысяч кредитов плюс форма.
So message us and we'll hook you up.
Мало.
Grenades. Oftentimes enemies throw grenades at you, you can't see them, you can just hear them, and then sometimes you're dead. In the main line, not only will grenades have markers, Dean
And
if you
shield
would,
gating will save you.
and shield gating would save you. So, yep, image.
Oh, we have video for this.
So grenades will have waypoint markers on them.
А, это теперь вот так вот гранаты будут показываться арбитражные, как я полагаю.
You are skilled enough, you know, hopefully if you see a splash in there, you can run to it and you can
Вообще неплохо.
destroy the grenade before it.
Полезно.
Grendel, can he eat them? That is a good question.
We should make that happen.
Yes,
И сказали о том, что
grenades will
Гендель
have
может
markers
есть
that you
эти
destroy
гранаты.
before
Did we
they destroy
mention
you.
the Nova change in the last stream?
No, we didn't, because I didn't. Danielle saw that got hooked up, so we
Yeah,
should.
it did get hooked up.
Yeah, so we'll show that after. All right.
Do you have a video of you like taking out a grenade while it's flying in the air?
I don't have it right now, but I will get one for you.
Man.
So next up on the list, actually, let me just make sure grenade. Oh, that was item 17. We made good time. So that was item 17. Kuvalich murmurs and fixes. What we're doing with Kuvalich murmurs for this main line is we are making it so that the Requiem hints received.
Что там осталось интересно из агенды?
Stabbed with a paragon, a failed result, will now again be shared with squad mates. So there was a hotfix that went out that took away the ability for your Lich's Parazon attacks to be shared. That's coming back. So now you'll be able to get murmur progress faster by engaging with your Liches. That will be shared.
As a group.
Great. Is there anything else with mainline with liches?
There's stuff we wanted to, but it
Weapon
didn't.
duplicity or
It didn't make it
That's not
for
in there
mainline.
yet?
We do have
Okay.
more coming.
Okay.
As Megan also was.
Ой, еще один Дар Лотос запущен.
So there's about a page.
Ой, блин. Орокин каталист. 30 тысяч кредитов и катализатор Орокин. Блин, ничего интересного как-то.
That's right.
Hype.
There's a little tool tip. It requires a Windows 10 swap chain mode. So if it's gray, it means that your settings aren't quite in the right position, and it will tell you how to work it. So that's HDR support on PC, and then of course this will be monstrously successful for those with the hardware, and we'll be bringing this over to our consoles as well. And that's coming with, did you already mention the deferred?
That's next. Deferred rendering preview is also coming.
That's right, the deferred rendering preview as well. And again, that's going to be a launcher option. So you'll be clicking the little gear wheel and opting into that. What to say about that? It looks amazing. The best parts of the deferred rendering tend to be the outdoor maps because you're getting those beautiful sun shadows. A lot of the content in the game doesn't have real-time shadows in the same way the outdoor stuff has. Does it cost GPU time to render all those real-time shadows? Yes, it does. So you have to keep that in mind. That there is a bit of a hit performance-wise. And yeah, it'll be really cool for you guys to check that out and help us kind of shake out the problems with it.
And to continue our agenda.
And so that's coming. I mean, we're almost out of February, but that's coming with mainline.
Mainline, yes. A bonus item on the agenda is FOV. So right now, what you're looking at is the max FOV you can achieve in Warframe. But with mainline.
Are you demoing this in the ship? Because I'm not sure what's going to happen.
I already tested it.
Great.
So in the upcoming mainline build, your FOV will be able to go.
Look at all that extra space from 78 all the way to 90.
So you can enjoy.
You too can look through a fishbowl.
You too can look at the larger FOV. So I do have before and afters.
По-моему, это было только что яркость.
I can do it at game level because the ship is actually constrained.
It is constrained camera, so we'll hop in and we'll go back to.
It really reminds me of Quake 1.
We'll do, and then we're gonna go to Scarlet Spear as a bonus. So we're quickly gonna hop into Hierarchon, or Hierarchon. FOV time. You want me to do before and after animation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All the social spaces have narrowed.
Yes. Constraints. That's why we will do Scarlet Spear after. But just to be a jerk to Jeff, because he wasn't here.
What? Why are we in jerk to Jeff?
Just because we can, and he told me not to do this.
He didn't want to come and.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
So
a
this
sweet
is,
hood.
this is the
Это
new
Deluxe
max FOV
Эша.
you get.
Whoa.
Shades of Quake.
Если что.
Wow.
Totally. So
Yikes.
this is.
Выглядит неплохо.
Whoa.
Это, наверное, то, чего я ждал весь Devstream.
Oh shoot, I'm unranked.
Надо будет его
It's dark.
купить.
I don't feel so well.
This is unranked.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna have to.
Look at all those.
Oh god, hurry!
Okay.
Type faster.
What are you doing?
I have to give myself some powers here. I was unranked.
Well, you're not
Что
gonna be able
ж было?
to maybe if
А.
he's like shooting and killing everyone.
I know. I'm gonna get out of the enemy. All right.
Ого. А какое изменение? У него интересно.
So if we go back to the norm, 78.
That's the max.
This is the current max you can do on public.
Right.
So if you play with max FOV on public, this is what it would look like. Running through your missions.
And just do that.
So
and
we'll
then,
stay right here.
yeah,
I'm just
and
gonna do
same
God mode.
You're gonna die.
That's why I just threw on a God mode.
Вроде как-то не особо
We're
что
going to
поменялось.
go to the 9.
All right. There you go.
Here we go.
It's fishbowl.
There you go.
All right. Cool.
There it be.
Finally,
Yeah,
it's
leg
here.
armor.
А что меняет, я не понял.
So this is, and if you want, actually, some of the Goss looks hilarious. I gotta try.
Yeah, this is gonna look super broken. It's
Sorry.
gonna be awesome.
Sorry.
It doesn't break. It's just wacky.
All right.
Super fast is. Oh my god, it's fast. Get some XP in it.
Так,
I'm
ну
going
допустим,
for
и
it.
что у Гаусса собираются сделать?
Yes! There we go.
That was awesome, actually.
So if you,
That's so cool.
Нихера не
Okay,
понял.
Wow.
you take back
Но
everything.
очень интересно.
Yeah, all right. So there you go.
right.
I can see forever. Ain't that the truth? All right. Scarlet Spear. We said bonus of time, even though we're over time. We'll do it anyway. We'll do Ivara Prime Access and go to Scarlet Spear.
So last developer?
Так, ну март у нас наступает через день, так что
Oh, right.
Shooting
я надеюсь, алое копье уже будет вот-вот.
And I went back to my desk after the stream, and Jordan, who works on our Warframes, had it working,
So
and then made it work for all the weapon types. So now you can shoot through Nova's wormhole with mainline as well,
okay. All right.
which I thought was pretty rad.
Yeah. So now.
So now we're gonna make Grendel eat grenades.
Yeah. So yeah. Feed
Wink,
the
wink,
grenade.
right?
Wink, wink. Yes. So we will be giving out 1,000 flat to two lucky people: Octo Cult on Twitch and Blazing Flames on Mixer. Congrats to you both. So Scarlet Spear. Steve, you want to give any context to the current version of the flotilla? Any spoilers I should avoid?
I think you can jump in real quick here. Let's just take a look. This is
тут что-то еще
this is-
интересно
we're calling it
остался.
Operation Link
Yeah.
because we're gonna have an operation using our Squad Link stuff, and
You can talk a little bit.
this is a big deal. You can talk to her maybe.
I will. We'll see. This
О,
is the dev
наконец-то.
build, so keep
Алое
that in
копье
mind.
So we don't know
показывают.
what's gonna happen, but here we go.
So all our
Oh, there's tons and there's gonna be like pre-processing and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Охренеть, как до хрена написала.
So here we go. We are in Scarlet
Whoa.
Spear. I'm gonna kill myself.
Выглядит круто.
Feel bad doing that every time. But I don't feel bad.
He doesn't imagine.
There's Scott. You're at your desk over there, I guess.
Look up, look up. Ooh, there he is.
All right, so things are happening with Scarlet Spear. This is the test flow test.
Это сам Эра показывает.
We have our team in here working away. And you can see
Oh, you can see log tags.
But there are people taking on the railjack side of the
There's a
operation.
real.
Actually, there is my railjack. So there's mine.
Так, и тут показан один рейлджек.
Players and their
Jeff would have opinions
their
about
landers.
this, so that's
Awesome.
And then you can also check out the Earths. So you can participate in the ground mission.
Это у нас
or the
получается
railjack
выбор
mission.
миссий.
Space squads, you're connected. You're constantly passing data back and forth to take on Operation Scarlet Spear. The more you play, you can come visit a
Ух ты,
little
даже
left.
уточка есть со своим квестом.
Sure.
It's dev, so this could go wrong.
Let's see what happens.
Oh.
One of the more intelligences from the old war. Right now, waves of his Murex ships are massing in the Vale. From there, those Murex launch swarms of info-gathering Condrix dropships. Recon data for the main event. That's why you're here, mate. Fighting off a sentient invasion is precisely what you were built for. We don't know how to kill one of those big bastards, but me and my network reckon we can give it a mucking lobotomy. Gonna require a little coordination to work. Real hand in glove, yeah? Ground teams to hit the Condrix, and railjack teams to mess up the Murex. So, take your pick, mate. Upstairs or down.
All right. So,
Неплохо.
we got lots of info coming there. That'll be launching Operation Scarlet Spear, but everything we've talked about today in the 20-item agenda is going to be shipping before the operation itself. So the revisions will come
Не, ну
first,
в принципе выглядит
then
круто.
the-
Scarlet Spear.
to follow.
Yep, right after.
Yes. All right. Let's do Ivara Prime Access. And now, Meg, you can put the workshop live. It is. We have summarized the agenda. I don't think we have any other assets, do we, Dean? Okay, so we are covered. All right. Ivara Prime Access is going to One Hawk of Oak on Twitch and Vote Less Ice 5020. Voteless Ice on 5020 on Mixer. You both won an Ivara Prime Access. You just got to let us know where to put it, and we'll hook you up. The alerts are live on all platforms right now from the Gift of the Lotus. You can check those out. The Super Smash Bros. Event with the Lotus Spirit is live on Nintendo Switch. What else is going on, guys? I noticed I didn't get any bourbon in the stream.
You don't.
Did you want some?
I think I do. Maybe not.
Yep.
Ooh, Steve.
Smash.
That's all right. All right. So, next steps for the community. Our amazing team have been working on this workshop and hopefully getting it out in all languages that Warframe is supported in over the next little while. At the very least, you'll have a version of this. If you don't speak English, we'll try and get you one as soon as possible. Up to the update itself. We will have the workshop live just about now on the forums for you guys to read through. And then, of course, the update will go live and we'll have 20 separate feedback threads that you guys can give your feedback to for each respective area where appropriate. We probably will actually only do 19 because I don't think the Railjack bug fixes need a feedback thread, so there'll probably
The FOV needs a feedback thread?
No, that doesn't either. But there'll be about 19, 20 threads for you to put your constructive feedback in. This is a lot of change, and you really will benefit from a practical version of the changes we're talking about. On paper, you'll be able to sort of look through and imagine how it'll work. But the practical feedback will help us make Warframe the best game it can be. The power levels that we're looking at, you've never been more powerful in Warframe's history, and as Scott said, we're not looking to not let you melt enemies like butter with your sweet knives.
I think he actually said hot butter. I think he
Hot
used
butter.
like a
Hot butter
knife
with
through
knives.
hot butter, which you
bourbon
know,
could
that
be
works.
dying.
That works.
Yeah.
Yep.
The butter
So-
through a hot knife.
So please be excellent to each other.
butter.
We are very grateful to have been doing this for over 7 years now.
Yep.
We passed our 7-year anniversary of
You say we're
Devstream.
grayer?
Grateful. Definitely grayer.
We're definitely grayer.
Definitely grayer.
Way grayer.
And we're super appreciative of you guys, so please keep it constructive. Have a conversation as though you're coming to the table with us to look through the changes, the reasonings, and everything. And we'll just take it day by day with the feedback threads. So keep it awesome. Don't be punching your keyboard, and we won't be
I'll throw the butter at you.
Yeah, throw the hot,
The hot
hot
butter.
sizzling butter.
Napalm butter.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks for making it through the stream, and
There's a lot of detail here.
yep.
Yeah.
And thanks to chat. I really enjoyed reading chat today. I thought that it was going to be a little more spicy, and it looks like everyone was really excellent to us. So thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys.
Yep,
You guys
appreciate
are the best.
that.
You're the best community in the world. 7 years going.
Yep.
Speaking of 7 years, we're doing our 7-year anniversary soon.
Наконец.
More grass
Походу
next time.
все.
More grabs. Have a good weekend. Wait, am I missing anything? No.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks, Scott and Steve.
Вот и все. Закончилось. По Twitch Prime. 200 не надо будет забрать. Выйти. Ну что ж, а теперь идем смотреть на Warframe. Что у нас там такого интересного? Фарм дукатов плюс закрывание даров Лотос. В общем, работы у нас на сегодня предостаточно. Ну, о, Warframe. Отлично. Я надеюсь, это не сильно слышно на стриме, вот это вот жужжание. Такс. Ну-ка. Так, тут у нас был Sanctuary, которого сейчас нету. У ночной волны что-то есть? Не, ничего. Тут что-то есть? Не. Ну, погнали на оборону. Я возьму что-нибудь поинтереснее, чем Ивара. Что ли вольта взять? Пусть будет вольт. Акджагарки. И Шиду. Да, и пусть будет процессор. Что у меня тут сделано на нем? В принципе, нормально. Они не подвозили, нет? Походу нет, ну и ладно. Тогда идем сюда. Оборона и раскопки. Надо будет прочекать информацию по поводу алого копья. Так. Ну-ка. Ага, ну вольт тут уже есть, если что. Так что это будет легко. Еще у меня кого-то нету с собой, блин. Блин, это только 9-я волна. Как-то мало. Всё, зашибись. Удобненько-то как. Изи, ну их сразу себе залью. И зарядиться можно. А что у нас там отмечено? Хм. Попал. Блин, без кошака очень неудобно. Да? А тут у нас что? А, тут у нас начало было. Угу. 150 фокуса, о да. И по критам. Когда, интересно, подвезут наконец-то патч? Хоть на этой неделе, я надеюсь. Вернее, на этих двух. Чтобы увидеть новый симулякром и все вот в этом вот духе. Походу это будет шустренько. Оба. И еще раз ультанем. Одну идею эндгейм контент в Warframe. Его тупо нету. Жалко. Что? Вы чё, отжигаете? Охренительно. И что это сейчас, бляха, было? Интересно. Кого бы взять? Аберона возьму. Все остальное по стандарту оставлю. Кошака взять главное. Где кошка? Что ли ее потом популярить как-нибудь? Блин, надо себе флюгер как-нибудь достать, что ли. Что? А если я сделаю вот так? Понятно. Блядь, да пиздец. Чертеж форма еще остался. Пустяк. Я только что долбился с этим, а в итоге ни хера. Ой, бляха. Ну, двое, трое. Неплохо. Так, ну, погнали. Опять. А нахер тут просто интересно нужен. Так. Ивара. Вуконг и Фрост. Вот это пати для обороны. Вот это да. Нахер вольта, нахер Серину. Ну да, лучше взять что-то непонятное. И чё? Нахрен ему этот купол? Не, это, конечно, интересно, но бесполезно. Как мне кажется. В смысле у меня коват не взялся? Да ну блядь, ну, жесть. Я ж только что его пикал. Охренительно. Просто охренительно. Ладно. Ультану-ка я. Неплохо. И еще разочек ультану. Он разрушил свой щит или он такой дохлый? Просто 24 ранг мастерства. Ну. Странно. Еще разочек ультану. Да, конечно, отжигают. Это интересно было. Это он Ивару качает? О. Везет человеку. 24-й мастер ранга, и у него еще и Ивара не качана. Волна зачищена. Отлично. И еще разочек ультану для профилактики. И еще разочек. Так. Ну, вот это вот фармить, ну, блин. Долго, конечно. У меня кто-то есть? Нет. Никого. Тогда всем спасибо за просмотр, всем не забывайте подписываться на канал, оценивать это видео, комментировать. Фреймы Discord в описании. А я на этом прощаюсь. В общем, всем пока-пока.